I'm Ryan.
I'm Zach.
And we are Archery Outdoors.
Alright, today we are going over our basic bow setups, everything that we shoot. We'll start with Ryan's here. This is more of the beginner setup.
Yeah, this is kind of your bare bones basic. Start off, the bow is just a Diamond Outlaw, 2014 I believe. For quiver, that's just a G5 quiver that came with the bow. Stabilizer, I'm using a Trophy Ridge stabilizer. For a sight, I'm using a True Glow sight. And for a rest, it's a Whisker Biscuit, just your basic Whisker Biscuit. This is about as basic as it gets. It's pretty much just to get you started. That's what it is for me. I've only been doing this for a year, and it's worked well for me so far.
How would you mention that D-loop?
Also about the D-loop. So the bow only goes out to 30 and a half, and I'm pretty sure I'm a 32-inch draw. I don't have a bow that goes that far, so I wouldn't know. But what I've done is I've extended this D-loop about 30 feet, as you can see. And so then what that does is it allows me when I'm anchoring to actually get it back instead of here, back to here, which is a lot more consistent. It does bring my nose away from the string, but I feel like this is better consistency than up here where it kind of floats and it can shift. Yep. And that's what you're really looking for, is consistency.
Alright, then we'll go on to my bow here. It's just basically one step up, no pro bow, but this is a Mission Riot, also made by Matthews. Let's see here. For the quiver, I got a carbon tight spot, and it is adjustable here, so you can change the angle forward, backward, you can move it up, down. Probably not the most beginner quiver, but I got a really good deal on it. And then let's see, we got here, this is actually a homemade laser cut stabilizer. You can see the little offset here. This is from Matthews. When I draw, I have a tendency to torque my bow to the left. With it just off the hair, just a little bit like that, it straightens my bow out, and it'll also help balance out the quiver if it is on my bow when I decide to shoot. And then we just got your run-of-the-mill. This one is Top Point Archery. I got that off Amazon. So nothing special there. And then here for the rest, I have a Gen 7 by Vapor Trail. It is a limb-driven release. You can see the string running up here. It is a very basic drop-away rest. I like it over the cable-drivens because it's a lot easier to tune, and the timing, all you have to do is tie it on and your timing's good. As long as this is down all the way, you won't have bad timing. If you wanted to change the timing, move it forward and backward on the limb. And if this string were to ever be cut, you could just use a piece of paracord or your shoestrings, and within a couple minutes you could be shooting your bow and it'll be dead on again. Alright, next.
Arrows?
Yeah, let's do our arrows.
Or releases.
Next we'll do our releases, how about that? Alright.
So once again, a more beginner setup. This is just a TrueFire index release, nothing special. It does have a little bit of adjustment, and I like the trigger pull in this better than my old one because it actually requires you to pull it instead of just going off when you touch it. Once again, just your basic setup.
And again, this is another one step up. This is a handheld release, as you can see. It's the 4-finger. It's a Cobra switch, and it's a pretty neat release because not only is it a thumb release, all you have to do is move this one little screw right here. You just take that out, and suddenly now it's a hinge. You would move it up to here to lock the thumb if you wanted just a hinge. And the other cool thing is, if you really want your release to go off when you really aren't expecting it, you can just take the screw completely out and use both your thumb and the hinge at the same time, so you will have a truly unknown release time. And again, it's got the adjustable tension on your thumb and travel. It does come with 2 different barrels. I like the thicker barrel better because I got my sausage fingers. Some guys will like the thin ones a little bit better. It's up to you. And it is the 4-finger. I usually only put tension on 2, maybe 3 fingers. The pinky just kind of floats there. I'm not going to cut it off. It's just going to sit there.
Next up, let's talk about arrows.
Alright.
So I usually use Victory because it's just kind of what I started with, and I've liked them so far. They've worked well for me. This is just your RIP TKO. It's a slightly smaller shaft than a standard shaft. For hardware, it's just using their standard inserts with 100 grain field point. And then for vanes, I'm using the AAE Max Stealth vanes. I like these a lot better over Blazer vanes. They seem to really work well. And then they're just in a straight fletch. And then if you're looking for a little more basic, before you kind of spend the money on something like this, being these are $60 and these are only $35. These will work well. This is just your Victory carbon. Pretty sure you can get them at Fleet Farm, Runnings, kind of your basic stores. And then once again, I did fletch them in an AAE Max Stealth.
All right, I'll start with my lower ones again. This is my beginner arrows. I bought these about a year after the bow because I ended up losing quite a few of the ones that I got with the bow. These are just your gold tip hunters. Nothing special about them, just a standard carbon shaft, standard inserts. I have recently fletched him again with just 3 vane straight, actually a little bit of offset. But it's, again, Max Stealth vanes. We've just found that we like the steering ability of those, and clearance, they are a little bit shorter but longer, so you still get the same steering ability of the Blazers, and they are a little bit quieter as well, hence the name Stealth. And then these here are the arrows that I use to hunt with. They're the 5mm Axis by Easton. On the front here, I got the stainless steel Ethics outsert system. Inside is the aluminum, so it comes out to $115 for just the insert. And then obviously exchangeable heads. Again, Max Stealth vanes. I have these in a helical for steering the broadhead just a little bit better. I don't shoot over 50 yards at a deer, so I'm not worried about the parachute effect at the end. Otherwise, that's just my hunting arrow, my everyday shooting arrow. And then these bad boys here are my indoor, mostly target arrows. Now, a lot of guys, when you hear target arrows, you think big money. These are the cheapest arrows you can get. These are the XX75 Game Getters by Easton, the old aluminum shafts. These are the 300 spine, which I believe are actually 32 size, so you can still legally use them for target in competition if you wanted. These I have in a 4 fletch. With such a heavy arrow, I wanted a little bit better steering ability in the rear end. And then again, just standard components that come with it in the rear and the front, and just your basic tip. They still shoot well. When you hand fletch an arrow, it just makes a hell of a lot of difference to me anyway. Now, when I first started fletching my own arrows, I wanted to see how good they were compared to the factory ones. Before I stripped these, I had shot these ones next to the Axis. Yes, different shafts, different comparison, whatever. But I did notice, so I shot 3 of these and then went to shoot 3 of the Axis. This one had about a 2-inch grouping at 20 yards. The Axis, I only ended up shooting 2 because one went inside the other, Robin Hooding it. It was actually my first Robin Hood, which was pretty cool. Right until I realized I just wasted about a $10 arrow. And that was before the ethics and everything as well. And again, the difference, these you can probably pick up for $5-6 a piece. This one, when I completed it, it was near $12 to $13 an arrow. So again, if you're just starting out and throwing them in the dirt, possibly destroying them, hitting trees, the good old standard carbon shafts, the cheapos, the gold tip hunters, and your Fleet Farm.
Carbon Victories, whatever they end up being.
And these ones, they've taken a lot of dirt. And I've been shooting these for 5 years now. They're still plenty strong for me to be shooting. Yeah, they're great solid arrow for a beginner and intermediate. There's still some guys who hunt with them. I hunted with these my first year. They work.
I think that's about it.
That is.
Well, thanks for watching, guys.
If you have any questions on any of our equipment, feel free to hit us up in the comments. If you have any ideas on what you think we should change,
or do.
Yeah.
What would you guys like us to do, see? What do you guys have questions about? We're pretty scientific. I mean, we like to change things up. We like to change vanes, point weights.
Yeah, as you can tell, I like playing with my arrows in different ones.
And that's where we really enjoy that. That's kind of one of the main things I like about fletching my own arrows, is that you can really play with it and you can see what you like better than.
Yep.
And without spending that money of having somebody else fletch it or just your basic factory fletchings.
So yeah, if you have any questions, tips on what you think we should do, change, anything, just hit us up in the comments. And hey, if you did like what we did here, hit that like button. We're just starting out here, so like,
It's always nice to see. It's always nice to see.
Yeah. So again, we're RZ Outdoors, and
See you guys
thanks
later.
for watching.